Today on Running to Him.
We can only change our lives by realizing Christ's resurrection in our lives. Today's reading from the reading plan is John chapter 19, verse 31 through 20, verse 18, and we'll concentrate on verses 20, 14 through 16. John 20, 14 through 16 says this: When she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there and did not know what it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Why are you weeping? Whom are you seeking?" Now supposing him to be the gardener, she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you've laid him, and I will take him away." Jesus said to her, "Mary." And she turned to him and in Hebrew said, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Now, my wife Toni left her village in Crete, Greece, when she was 12. She didn't go back there for a visit until she was 18, and it wasn't until many years later, when her mother became ill and needed constant care, she returned for 3 months at a time, sharing her mother's care with her sisters. One day she was walking in town, and even now it only has 2 main streets, and she went into a store to purchase something. The woman behind the counter recognized her and called out her name. They hadn't seen each other for about 30 years, and it took a moment for Toni to remember her. But they spent the next moments together reacquainting themselves with each other. But it was like they had never been apart. Mary was not expecting to see Jesus. She hoped to complete the burial process, which began when they placed him in the tomb just before Passover began that previous Friday. The moment she recognized him, she clung to him because she had found that which had been considered lost. How do we respond to our needs to seek out Christ? How do we actively seek him? Or are we content to go about our business with fond memories of our previous interactions with him as the disciples had? Now, I'm not blaming the disciples for the way they acted. In verse 9, it says that they didn't understand that Jesus was to rise from the dead. I can imagine Peter and John's thoughts when they went to the empty tomb. They probably walked away asking themselves what else could go wrong. Nothing was happening the way they had envisioned it. But what is our excuse for not believing? We look at the empty tomb and we mentally agree that the resurrection has occurred, but we end up doing little things or nothing about it in our lives. We live our lives as nothing has changed, sometimes remembering Christ and other times putting it in the back of our minds as we would a long-lost friend. We need to recognize the risen Christ in our lives on a moment-by-moment basis. We need to remember that he is the one who should be directing our lives and not ourselves. It is only through accessing Christ's resurrection power that we can bring change into our lives.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.